Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of Rider Kick's figures for Kamen Rider Claws and Kamen Rider Grease. I also like how the camera is like exclusively focusing on their boxes. So let's just get that out of the way then and just say they have really neat boxes. I like the boxes for these. They're a little small, but I guess that doesn't really matter. But you know, they have nice shots of the figures and cool shots of the riders. But they're stealing all the precious focus, so let's just get them out of here. You know what? You're gonna hear them go boom. Boom, that's what happens when you steal the focus like that. So yeah, here's the actual figures and not the boxes. So I'm reviewing them together because, yes, there's not really a whole lot to warrant going over them on their own. But let's start with Claws. So what's kind of funny about this guy is that we never got a proper Claws figure in the BCR line. We just got Claws Charged. So that's weird to me, like, we didn't get his primary form. I guess they couldn't figure out the way to like incorporate his gimmick, but given that this is his main form, it's weird that it's not until a line in the next Rider series that we got kind of a basic figure for it. I mean, there is a figure art, but it's also an exclusive. But Claws Charge was also a retail for figure arts. But anyway, I think this is overall pretty decent figure. Just standard look-wise, you know, pretty solid. You know, it's smaller scale. I'll do a comparison with Grease in a second, and you'll see with him too, the size-wise. But detail-wise, I think they did a pretty decent job. The figure art's obviously going to look better, but I thought, you know, the head sculpt's pretty solid. I don't feel like it's too disproportionate. The paint could maybe be a little bit better, maybe have a little bit more of a shine to it. But for the most part, colors and proportion-wise here, I think they did a good job. Definitely gets a little bit bland down here, like the belt's not very painted. These are fine, you know, there's really not a whole lot to that. The back, as always, is a little bit blank. At least I'm glad that, like, this continues to be the blue color and it's not just all black back here, but, you know, they don't really pay too much attention to the back details on these guys. He does come with a few accessories, which is neat. You got a couple different hand choices. Right now on him are just, like, the regular kind of resting or I'm gonna hold something hands, and then you get two like little fist hands, you know, because he's a brawler, so that makes sense. So you can just do kind of standard fighting poses. And you have his saber, which is cool. It's not like in a, you know, a division of saber, like Dunder Mifflin is now a division of saber, but also it's not painted. It's just kind of a standard black weapon. But it's nice that you have that if you want to have some variety in the way you pose them. Articulation's pretty solid. You know, you have this 360 range of motion here. You got your elbow joint, your swiveling, the little fist swivel. You got a pretty good range on the leg. Double knee joint there. Little ball joint here on the foot. You got some waist articulation like this. And the head articulation, 360 up and down. So pretty solid articulation, like right between like, or like a little bit above like a standard Power Rangers, like American 5-inch figure, but not quite as good as figure arts. But also like, look, I prefer this type of joint to the weird hinge joints you get for like the Marvel Legends line. I don't know why they, I don't know, just I'm thinking about the Lightning Collection for Power Rangers coming up, and that's also going to have the hinge joint at the waist, and it's like, this looks so much more natural, just hukilao, like it's just doing, I don't know. But anyway. But my only real complaint with this guy is, well, I mean, obviously, the details aren't absolutely perfect, but these little armor bits will come off. Like, when I got him out of the box, like, this is removable, and I just found that to be kind of annoying. Like, I was just trying to get a feel for the figure for the review, and like those little bits kept coming off, and I felt that that was rather unnecessary. But now moving on to Grease, I think he's the most improved in terms of one we've already gotten. Like I said, I'll show the BCR here in a second, but I think he's a pretty cool figure, despite the fact that I prefer Claws' design and character overall. Not that I hate Grease, like, I hate you, you're not Claws! No, but like, you know, I think he's got the stronger figure, mainly because like the gold paint looks really good. Like, it's got a really nice shine to it. Like, I'm really impressed with that, mainly because I feel like it's pretty rare to get a figure, whether it's Ranger or Rider or whatever, to have actual nice gold paint. It usually, there's usually a hair on it. That's gross. It's like stuck in there. That's disturbing. Like, it's usually either super dull, like they don't even try, like it's just like brown mustard colored, or they kind of make it like an almost gold, but it's not quite there. But this is like gold. I love gold! Had to. But yeah, so I'm really impressed with that, I have to say. Articulation-wise, it's the same, so I'm not going to just go over it again, but you got the same bits there. And I think they did a really good job on the detail sculpt here, where you kind of have that see-through aspect to it. I think it looks really nice. I think it complements the gold really well. Obviously, the splash driver here is not very detailed, and as I showed, like the back, there's not a lot to, but I really don't feel like there needs to be a lot there. I think for me, this is probably the strongest BCR release. He also does have accessories, a couple different hands. There's like the kind of holding weapons hands. This is like a signature pose hand, like I kind of had him up like that. But it also kind of looks like he's flipping people off from certain angles, but just like the PG version. And then you got like closed fists, and like one closed fist and then other holding things hands, and one version of the twin breaker just in the pointy mode, but it's kind of bent from being in the package, and it's kind of a hard plastic, so it takes a little bit to bend it back into shape. But let me just show you a comparison here. Here we have not BCR grease, this is RKF grease. And then here you have BCR grease. Obviously you can see he's taller, but you can see what I'm talking about that dull gold. Not dull gold from Kyryuger, but like this dull gold. They're all variations of crap, but like this is a really nice gold. And obviously you can see the huge difference here in the head sculpt. This was kind of neat, admittedly, just the black with the red eyes, but it's not the way he's supposed to look. Like, one of the things that make Grease unique is the fact that he has that look to him, so this is definitely, unless you're just really excited about this extra inch here, this is the far superior figure. But yeah, you can see the scale there a bit. These are smaller than like the normal gimmick line figures as we've known. But overall, I think these are pretty solid. I do want to mention one more nitpick I have about Grease, is that the antenna is removable. I find that to be rather needless. I almost lost it twice just getting this over to the review station, so definitely be careful about that. In fact, that's probably my biggest complaint about this just review overall. Like, not my review, but I mean just what I'm reviewing, because I hate when stuff like that happens and it makes it easy to lose, and I think it's unnecessary, especially since this is what you got going for you, buddy. That's not detachable unless I don't know about it. But yeah, overall, I think these are pretty solid, especially Grease. If you don't want to spend the money for the figure art, I can definitely recommend checking him out for a decent substitute. You might want to go figure arts for Claus, but I think these are pretty solid, and him in particular, but they're probably some of my more favorite RKF figure releases so far. RKF Rider Kicks. There we go. I always said it wrong before. But anyway, until next time, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, definitely climb the steps and ring that bell to get the notifications from my videos. Until next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.